All right, what's up, everyone? It is the Awesemo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. I'm here by myself today while everyone else recovers from Thanksgiving and such. So I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate. Early slate just locked, so we were talking about it pretty much all morning, early afternoon in the premium Slack chat. So a lot of good conversation going on in there. You guys can join that if you so choose. We do have free trials going on. Promo code Hit the Ice gets you a free week at Awesemo.com NHL Premium. You get my projections, Awesemo's rankings, as well as all of our free articles, the lineup builder that you see on the screen, Fantasy Cruncher, and then we've got some special Black Friday deals. With promo code Cyber Month, you get 50% off your first month of a monthly all access membership, or you can do 12 months for the price of 10 with on an all access membership. So that saves you $120 for the year. I would suggest doing that. It is promo code Cyber Month. It is a really good deal. You save $120 for the entire year. You get a half off the first month if you do the monthly, or the Cyber Year, promo code Cyber Year, you get 2 months off the entire year. So you're getting 2 months for free. It's a pretty good deal. That's the Black Friday stuff we have going on for you. So we weren't going to be left out. I'll type these in chat right now. Cyber Month. Cyber Year. All right, so I probably messed those up, but I will repeat those as we go on because those are really good deals. You guys should take advantage of if you're on the fence about getting a premium membership. Maybe this will put you over the edge. We've got a very good premium Slack, as I mentioned, and then all the tools make it very much worth it. Awesemo has his rankings, player, and stack, which are super useful whether you're playing cash or GPP. Super useful to me because I play a lot of GPP, and I know our subscribers like them a lot. So we got an 8-game slate to talk about. Free. What was the free week code? Oh, that was the promo code Hit the Ice gets you a free week at Awesemo.com. So you could try it out and then try Cyber Month or Cyber Year. But yeah, I would just get the Cyber Month or Cyber Year because I don't know how long these are going on. So I would just do it now if you're on the fence of getting the premium. But promo code Hit the Ice gets you 1 week. Promo code Hit the Ice. And there you go. All right, now that all that housekeeping is out of the way, I hope you guys had good Thanksgivings and played some NFL DFS. You didn't really have other options besides NFL. I actually had some good NFL teams for the first time in my life, but they fell apart at the end. The garbage time for the Falcons really crushed me there at the end. So that's just kind of my luck with NFL, and I'm also not great at it, so probably shouldn't be playing it as much as I do. Hope you guys got your lineups in early if you decided to play. It was actually a pretty nice little 6-game slate. I went heavy on Anaheim 1, Washington 1, Minnesota 1, and who else did I have? I had a bunch of New Jersey 1, probably closer to the field or maybe a little bit under. I guess I can show you these exposures if I still have them up. Yeah, this is what I did for the early. So did 3-man double stacks. So that's what I did. We'll see how it works out. I have 50 lineups in that $8, just something to do. And I'll probably end up watching this Minnesota Wild game once I get done here. So we're going to break down the 8 games. I actually have I haven't made lineups yet. I was focused on the early slate. So I'll probably just make some lineups on Cruncher. My projections are already loaded in. You guys can see them. You get access to them if you are a premium member. But yeah, I'll make some recording the wild game right now. Yeah, nice. I'll make some lineups at the end. Probably gonna play another 50, maybe 100 in the $8 tonight as I try to master this MME thing that seems so popular, and try to become like Osmo and Tom and Eddie, as you see at the top all the time. Those guys are studs. We've got some really good NHL players in our chat, and the founders of the company are very good DFS players, but especially at NHL. They've just been dominating this year. All right. Toronto and Columbus. We have Frederik Andersen going up against Sergei Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky is confirmed. Oh, there I go again, forgetting the DK pricing. Bobrovsky is confirmed. Andersen is not just yet. There are you can scream when they score. Go ahead. I don't care. You can spoil it for me. I didn't record it or anything, so just gonna watch it. Become Osmo. That's ambitious. I know it is, but isn't that what we're all trying to do, right? I think he banked a tournament yesterday in NFL, the day-long tournament. He's just insane. So I don't know how he does it. He just crushes, seems like, every day. So that's what we're all striving to be, right? So this Columbus game, Columbus did something weird in their last game against Florida. They matched. Florida won with the Jenner line, and I mean, I haven't seen that in 2 years from Columbus, hard matching Jenner against the opposing top line. But if they do that here, that would mean we see Jenner versus Tavares, and then Columbus won against Kadri, Marleau, Kapanen, which is a line I want to target defensively. And that would kind of take the Jenner, Foligno, Anderson line out of the picture for me. I really love Columbus one here. I think they're going to be pretty popular. They're affordable, and it is a good spot, and it's an even better spot if they're going to avoid significant time against Tavares, Marner, and Hyman. So not exactly sure how the matchups are going to go here, but Columbus one would be my main target. Home top line. I mean, it's pretty easy to say that, but that is going to be my main target here. And we'll see how much they turn up in the after I make lineups once we're done going through the games. There's no hard match elsewhere, so we won't really need to worry about that. If we're looking at defensemen, Morgan Riley up to 6,800. He's creeping up there in my defenseman projections, but he's still not worth 6,800 in my opinion. So I'm probably going to pass there. Seth Jones I really like for 5,800. Plays on the power play with Dubois and Atkinson. And then Werenski is the other guy if you're looking to save a little bit of money for 4,800. Also, don't hate David Savard when he's playing top 4 minutes and he's under 4K, which is what he's doing right now. There's no one really besides Morgan Riley that I want to mess with on the Toronto side. And then goalies here, hard not to like Bob at 7,400. Just way too talented of a goalie. He is at home, and I believe he's a favorite. If not, it's like a toss-up, and just way too cheap. So he's going to be one of my highest exposed goalies on the night. And then Anderson, if he goes, he's always in play. I think the Leafs play a back-to-back tomorrow night, as most teams do. So there's kind of some weird scheduling. So just don't be surprised if any backup goalies go tonight, is how I'll put it. Next game is Pittsburgh and Boston. Tristan Jarry, I believe it is Jarry, going up against Yaroslav Halak. We have a $6,500 goalie alert. Halak is 7,600. And then we've got some different lines for Boston here. Penguins got Crosby back a couple nights ago, so he's going to be skating with Gensel and Hornquist, and then Malkin with Pearson and Kessel, as we've seen the last couple games. So nothing really changed on the Pittsburgh side. We've got Jacob Forsbacka Carlson, probably butchered his name, but he's 2,800, centering Brad Marchand and David Pastrnak. He is not Patrice Bergeron, obviously. It's only the most obvious thing in the world, but he's 2,800 and centering those two. I'd probably roster myself for 2,800, centering those two. It's just really tough value to pass up. I mean, I'm assuming he should be a popular cash target. Boston one becomes a lot more high event, even without Bergeron. Yeah, I mean, Riley Nash stepped in and played fine last year. And I mean, those two guys are going to make anyone better. Like Bergeron obviously doesn't need it. He makes everyone better, but we'll call him JFK. JFK will, I'm sure, fit in nicely there. So just way too good a value. This line as a whole is, let's see, 9K, 16.6 for Boston 1. That's pretty crazy. You can pretty much fit him in with any other line if you get creative with defensemen. So that's going to be super appealing for a lot of people. It's appealing for me. And this second line for Boston, actually, I don't mind either. Krejci, Heinen, and DeBrusk. You get power play 1 exposure with DeBrusk. I'm pretty sure this line has solid numbers going back to last season. Yes, I would definitely stack that line, Greg. Yeah, I'd stack any line for the right price, or almost any line. But yeah, that price is really tough to pass up on Marchand and Pasternak. So as a whole, it's just way too good a value to pass up. I think if you're MMEing single lineup, you can make a case to fade anyone if the ownership gets high enough. But yeah, would definitely look to stack them if you're making multiple lineups. I side with Boston on this game, even though they're still banged up on D. Looks like they're going to get Kevin Miller back. John Moore also skated this morning, so not the greatest guys on defense, but better than what they had a week ago. Krug on the top power play for under 5K. There's just a lot of value here on Boston. The top two lines I really, really, really love from a value standpoint. And you're not getting the same kind of value on Pittsburgh. I think if I was choosing a line to go to, I think it would be Crosby, Hornquist, and Gensel. Just a little bit cheaper. And I do like Crosby and Hornquist together a ton. Gensel is a nice other piece to that line for under 5K. And that's really all I have for this game as far as stacks go. Boston making me nervous these days? Yeah, I mean, they've been hurt. Not much you can really do about it. Krug would be the guy I want to go to on Boston. Letang, the power play 1 quarterback. If you are going to a power play stack, which I think is viable here, Boston's had a tough time killing off penalties because of all these injuries. Letang is your guy at 6,200. He's not going to come up a ton for me as far as a one-off, but in the context of either of the top two lines, he makes perfect sense with either of those. Ricola is 2,600, and it looks like he's going to play, so that would be up guy you can punt with, certainly. And then on the other side, John Moore, just stone minimum, can absolutely punt there if you need a super cheap defenseman to go with your super cheap Boston 1 stack, or Boston 2 for that matter. Halak is 7,600, and I think that's a fair price for him here. Like I usually say, I don't have any hot takes on goalies. I just never do. I just play the ones that are decent values, home favorite for cheap, right up my alley. I mean, it's going to be chalky, I know, but I'm not really concerned about goalie chalk. So Halak will certainly be in my player pool. And then Yari is 6,500 and playing and on a good team. So he is also going to be in the mix. I don't think he's going to see crazy volume or anything, but a decent shot to win both ways here. And it's not often you get a $6,500 goalie to play. And you have it here. So if you can't get up to the $7,000 range, Yari's your guy. I mean, he had some success last year, I know. Like, he's not terrible. So let's move it on to the next game. Sick of talking about goalies, Blackhawks and Lightning. Corey Crawford going up against Louis Domingue. Implied totals here, it looks like Chicago at a 2.6, Tampa Bay at 3.4. Tampa, one of the highest totals on the entire day. And you can see why. I mean, just look at the top 6 compared to Chicago's top 6. Point is going to hard match Taves, Saad, and Kane. And that is an awesome matchup for Point with Kucherov and Johnson. Assuming those three are going to be together. That's what Daily Faceoff has right now. I'm not sure exactly when they switched that. I wasn't keeping up on news yesterday. And then I didn't see, well, most of the lines were not tweeted out today just because none of the beat writers, it seemed like everyone was on vacation still, which is understandable. I mean, Thanksgiving and such, but would have been nice to see some more lines this morning. Anyways, it looks like it's going to be point with Johnson and Kucherov, and I haven't looked at the line data for them last season, but I know they had a ton of success together. So for, 18-7 on DK, one of the best lines on the night, especially if they're going to hard match against Taze, Kane, and Saad, who are super high event both ways. I think that's a clear advantage for the point line. And then Stamkos, Miller, Gord, I mean, that's fine, but I just so much prefer Tampa 2 here. It's not really all that close for me. If you are going to Chicago line, it's probably the top one. I don't know how much Chicago exposure I'm going to have here. It is a decent price for them, for Taze and Saad especially. They make Kane a little bit more affordable. But I think this has the makings of a pretty one-sided game. So I'm mostly on Tampa here. I'm sure I'll get some Chicago filler stacks, but not going to go crazy with anything on the Blackhawks side. Pretty tough, too, as well. When Seabrook is $5,300, I mean, he's not a $5,300 player. There is no Yoki, it looks like. So that is a downgrade from a DFS perspective. Gustafsson would probably be the guy I would most go to on the Blackhawks for $3,800. On defense for Tampa, Domingue no good though. I mean, Domingue's fine. You know, he's 8K. Yeah, you could say he's overpriced, but he's not no good. He's whatever for me. Not a guy that I'm gonna be like, oh, it's Louis Domingue starting. Got to fire up, a Josh Stack on the other side. No, he's not that kind of player for me. There's few goalies that are like that. I mean, anybody could have their day. It's hockey after all. There's a ton of variance. Victor Hedman at 5,400 jumps out as a very obvious value to me. And then McDonough, I think he was the nut play a couple nights ago. Maybe 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago. I can't remember what it was. But had a big game. Not listed on the power play, but he's always in play because he does all the other stuff. He blocks shots. He'll take some shots, plays a ton of minutes. So for 4,900, he's a fine spend down if you can't afford to get up to Hedman at 5,400 and don't want to blow up your entire Tampa stack. Domingue at 8K, a little bit overpriced, but still going to be in play for me. And then Crawford, I guess as a bullet, he's okay, but man, he usually projects out really well for me because he has such a good high danger save percentage, but I think he's just going to see a ton of quality chances here, and that makes me nervous even playing him for 7,300 on the road here. Panthers and Hurricanes, we have probably Roberto Luongo, could be Reimer in net for the Panthers, and then Curtis McElhinney for Carolina. No surprise to anyone. I'm all over Carolina. I haven't even ran my initial crunches just yet using my projections, but I'm certain they're going to like Carolina. They're probably going to like the value for Carolina's second line. They're going to see Barkov, Dadonov, and Hoffman at even strength, talking about the Stahl line. And that Barkov line, we talk about it. Me and Steve talk about it. I think Nolan and I talked about it last Friday. It just hasn't been good. I mean, defensively. And, it's one thing if you're going to be high event both ways, but they haven't even been good offensively when you look at their scoring and high danger chance numbers, and pretty poor defensively. So I'm actively targeting against them. I mean, my model just loves Carolina in general. So you look at some of these prices, Stahl line sticks out as a nice value in a filler stack scenario, and then Carolina won one of my favorite lines of the entire night. Wrote them up in the article earlier this morning, and they just look like a fantastic play. They're going to avoid Barkov. Not that you even need to avoid Barkov, but if they go up against Bukestad with Mulligan and Huberdeau, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with going up against McCann, Vetrano, and Troy Brouwer line. Give me some of that all day. So there's not a matchup I'm worried about for Carolina 1. They are incredibly high-paced, and they're just a really, really awesome line. Love Furlan for 5,300. Aho, I think, is the one guy that's somewhat fairly priced, and then Teravainen would be my third favorite of the 3, but I'm going to fire up a bunch of Carolina 1. there's really just no getting around it. And then Dougie Hamilton's also cheap. He's going to come up as a great value. I'm sure when Osmo's ranks get loaded that Osmo will have him as a very strong value as well. Looking at the Florida side, there isn't really a matchup. There's not really a stack I want to play. Florida 1 is oddly expensive for how poor their numbers are. And I don't like lines going up against Stahl, Williams, and McGinn, or whoever they have as their third wheel in that line. Just really solid numbers for Stahl and Williams together. So not a line I want to mess with on a decent-sized slate. So kind of off Florida and all over Carolina. Falk is $300 more than Dougie Hamilton. Makes it pretty easy for me. Dougie's going to see time with Aho, Teravainen, and Furlan. He's going to see time with the second line as well. So I want to get to him, but Falk's going to get mixed in there just because he is on that top power play still. And then Slavin is $4,600. Again, I'd just rather get to Hamilton for the extra $100. Probably not going to be on much Roberto Luongo or Reimer if he goes. I mean, that's just an extra boost for Carolina, in my opinion, if it is Reimer. But McElhinney at $7,600, I will play quite a bit of. All right, next game, we've got the Colorado Avalanche going up against the Arizona Coyotes. Carolina goalie, top goalie then? I don't know. I mean, I can look at what I have projected once we get there. I'm assuming it's going to be a top 3 play for me, though, on this main slate. Domingue is always in play. Come on. I don't know if that's a troll or what. Seems like people hate Domingue. For cash, I think I'm the worst at talking about cash. I don't study it enough, so I don't want to act like I'm some cash expert. But, you know, I think Bobrovsky is certainly in play for cash. I think, let's see. I probably wouldn't go with Domingue too much. I don't think he's going to see enough shots for 8K. But, yeah, I think McElhinney would be one of my top options if I'm just looking at both floor and upside combination. Svechnikov, pretty cheap. Oh, yeah, I didn't even mention that third line. I actually do like the Carolina third line. They're super cheap, and their numbers are ridiculous. And you talk about Carolina 1's matchups. Carolina 3's matchups are going to be just as good. So don't want to forget about them. I like all 3 lines in Carolina. Jones? Martin Jones? Oof. We'll get there. Aaron Dell is just, I think, at this point, objectively better than Martin Jones. But San Jose, continues to play Martin Jones for whatever reason. Chicago, top 5 in Corsi and Fenwick. I mean, they could be. They very well could be. I haven't looked at it today. I haven't looked at stuff on a team level today as far as season numbers that closely. But I think Tampa should dominate possession there. Chicago's a one-line team at this point, and I don't think they're very good. I think Tampa should roll them pretty easily. Colorado and Arizona. We have Varlamov against Ranta. Neither goalie's confirmed. Again, who knows? Who knows how it's going to go here as far as the goalies. We're seeing the Richardson line for Arizona go up against top competition. So that would mean Richardson, Grabner, Hinostroza up against Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen. Now, it doesn't seem like a great matchup at all. And I'm actually going to check on this Richardson line's numbers just so I don't say anything that I don't mean to say. But when you look at their numbers this year and Richardson and Grabner together, I'm sorry, the numbers I have are with Richardson and Hinostroza together. They're actually okay at slowing the pace down. Colorado 1, you're not worried about them because Hinostroza and Richardson are up against them, but they are expensive. Now, I'm certainly going to play some Colorado 1, but it's not like just a super cake matchup. They are on the road here. They don't get the benefit of last change. They do really benefit from that when they're on home ice. So I will say that they're almost 21K to stack together, so you're not getting much of a discount. Arizona's expected goal numbers, their high danger chance numbers are not very good either. So there's a couple ways to look at this. I almost agree, Matt, but it sounds like a bad idea. This really seems like the best fade Colorado spot in a while. Is there ever a good fade Colorado spot? They scare the shit out of me whenever I fade them. Like when they're not coming up in projections. I do get a little bit worried. Arizona's favored in this game too, and it's certainly not because of public bias. That is true. Arizona's okay. It's never good, but this is the least bad. Okay, I think that's okay. You can fit two really good mid-tier lines together, and they're still very restrictive when you stack them up. And especially if you want to get Tyson Barrie in there, who's 5,100, that's not super easy. So I think I would agree. It's an okay fade spot. I don't want to say I'm going to fade them because even if I do go underweight on them, there's a good chance I don't have zero. So fade to me is zero. I rarely fade lines intentionally these days when I'm playing 50 to 100 to 150 lineups. But yeah, going underweight on them I think is certainly a viable strategy here. The step-on line has been seeing the most time against the second lines. That doesn't really do anything for me either way as far as wanting to target a matchup super hard or super heavy. But Stepan, Panik, and Keller I like as a three-man stack. Top line, they're at home. They're likely going to avoid McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen. And then the lines below, Colorado 1 actually aren't terrible defensively, but Stepan, Panik, and Keller, they're full correlation, and they're going to get, at the very least, average even strength matchups. And Colorado does commit a ton of penalties. So lots of good to talk about on that Arizona top line. You throw in their price, and it's just even better. One of the best value stacks of the night. Ekman Larson for 4,800 is a solid value in Osmo's rankings. I do agree with that. Decent floor play for 4,800. He's going to be glued on Colorado 1. And then outside of him, Chikrin priced up a little bit, as is Connaughton. I don't know Jordan Osterley's status just yet, but he'd be a guy that I would have interest in at $3,300 if he does indeed go. On the Colorado side, I almost never stack other lines besides Colorado 1, and I don't think I'm going to be doing it here. Kerfoot, Wilson, and Tyson Jost is, it's not a great line, and I do like Stepan, Panik, and Keller to take advantage of that matchup. And it's just, I don't think you need to go that cheap road Colorado 2 line. Colorado 1 is going to see a ton of minutes in this game if it's even semi-close. All right, that game is probably good. Goalies, Ranta and Varlamov, if they do indeed go. I do prefer Ranta for 7,500 here. At home, it's a coin flip game, and I think Ranta is actually good, and he's $200 less than Varlamov. So give me some anti-Ranta if he does indeed start. Next game, Preds and Blues. We have UC Saros going up against Jake Allen. Super cheap Jake Allen here. We're very likely going to see St. Louis 1 go up against Nashville 1 at even strength. So O'Reilly, Tarasenko, Sanford going up against Johansson, Forsberg, and Kevin Fiala. Oh, Eberle has a goal if anybody cares. I think I have like 2 shares of that line. Was it a full line goal? Whatever. I'm probably underweight on that line anyways. I haven't looked at ownership at all. So we're going to see O'Reilly against Johansson at even strength. These two teams just faced off 2 days ago, and you look at the numbers when the teams just faced each other, whether it's home or away, and you see lines hard match on each other. I like to see how that matchup played out. the Johansson line absolutely dominated them 2 days ago. 15-6 shot attempts, 11-1 scoring chances, and 5-0 high danger chances. So people might see St. Louis 1 here and see that they're at home and super cheap. I mean, yeah, that's great. But if they're going to hard match up against Johansson, Forsberg, Fiala, then I'm all over the top line. If it's Fiala, if it's Craig Smith, either way, it doesn't really matter to me. It's too good of a price. They just dominated this matchup at even strength, and they get power play time as well. Johansson, Forsberg on the top power play. Who knows where Fiala slots in, but he's 3,300. And then if it ends up being Smith, again, he's 4,900. He's a perfectly fine value in my eyes as well. I don't really have much else besides I really do like Nashville 1, and then St. Louis 1, pretty obvious value with Sanford up there. But I don't think one of my favorite stacks on the night. Probably outside of the top 6 or 7, actually, on the slate for me. Yossi, 6,100, A points grade, A value. Same with Ryan Ellis, who is 4,400. I definitely agree with both of those. The problem is neither of them are on the top power play, quote unquote. So it's Matthias Ekholm. If you are looking for the power play correlation, I think you can play Yossi or Ellis with Johansson, Forsberg, and whoever is the third line mate on the top Nashville line. And then on St. Louis's side, you're looking at Vince Dunn or Alex Pietrangelo as like the obvious guys. Dunn gets the power play time, so I think I would have to lean towards him on the power play 1 if you're going with O'Reilly and Tarasenko. And then if you're looking for a punt or a punty type guy, I'm looking at Joel Edmondson for 3,200. Osmo has him as an A value. I would have him up there as well. One of my favorite punts at 3,200. Whenever he's priced that low, he's going to come up for me. And just a solid peripheral guy, and does play a decent amount of minutes as well. Bozak line with Maroon back, semi-interesting. Bozak, Perron, and Pat Maroon. Let me see this. I mean, none of their numbers stick out to me. Perron and Bozak. I don't know. Do they have good Corsi numbers at even strength? I know that's not everything, but I like to at least take a look at them. They're gonna get okay matchups, right? I mean, they're gonna see a lot of like Kyle Turris and Bonino, Sissons, and Watson. Actually, that Bonino, Sissons, Watson line has been really good at even strength, if I remember correctly. So I think Steve talked about them a couple slates ago, and yeah, I was looking at their numbers, and they look really, really awesome. It's just a shame that they don't get a lot of power play time, and they're not going to when Arvidsson comes back either. Yeah, I think Bozak, Perron, and Maroon, super cheap. Again, I don't know if you really need to go there on this slate unless you're going to Colorado 1. If they fit with Colorado 1 and you can get good defensemen as well, by all means, but not a line I'm going to have much of or any of. I don't even know. Goalies here, Saros at 8K, just kind of a whatever play for me. Allen's probably going to be somewhat trendy for 6,900. He's at home, and people do like St. Louis 1 as well. So if you plug in St. Louis 1 with Dunn and Jake Allen, you can pretty much fit in whatever you want. So that's going to be a popular thing to do. I'm not opposed to it, but anytime we're going to see chalk Jake Allen or semi-chalk Jake Allen, I'm usually going the other way. Let's go to Ottawa and Dallas. This should be maybe the chalkiest spot of the night, and for good reason. We have Craig Anderson going up against Anton Khudobin. How sorrows would that affect Nashville 1 plus minus for Yahoo? Nashville great on the road again. Great on the road as well. There's plus minus for Yahoo. It shows you how often I play over there. Gavin Bayreuther is power play 1. I did not see that. I'm just seeing that now, so it must have just uploaded on DFO since this morning. So I missed that. If he is indeed power play 1, that is incredible for 3,300 in this matchup. Anyways, so we've got the Dallas 1 conundrum here, I guess, if you want to call it a conundrum. They're almost, I think they are 22K to stack. He got that spot last game for the first time. Okay. Yeah, Dallas 1, super expensive, but they're my highest projected line of the night. It's not really that close. I mean, Ottawa is historically bad at even strength. They're on pace to give up the most goals in the 21st century by a long shot. They just can't defend anyone. It's really bad when you watch it, and you've got a line as talented as Sagan, Ben, Radulov, and it's just, how do you not play them? They're going to come up for everyone. Any optimizer you use is going to have a bunch of Dallas 1. I absolutely love them. I don't have any strong takes against them here. There's not a matchup that I would be worried about at all. And Pitlick, Faxa, and Nishushkin are probably going to go up against the top line, quote-unquote top line. Yeah, Dallas 1 over Colorado 1 for sure. I would definitely agree, Matt. Even taking into account ownership, Colorado 1's going to be somewhat owned. Like, it's not like you're going to get them at 5%. So it's going to be closer than what some people think. Dallas 1, I think, best spot of the night. Can kind of move on. Just know you're getting probably the chalkiest line. They're going to see 20, maybe 25% in large field tournaments. On an 8-game slate, that's pretty big, but it's just, Ottawa is so bad defensively. On the Ottawa side, I think there is actually a viable spot here. Tierney, Tkachuk, Stone, I'm on them again. I expect them to be in a good chunk of my lineups. And then actually Duchesne with Bodker and Batherson is actually going to come up as a value. They're one of my highest rated value lines. Just looking at my projections, and I'm probably off White, Zingle, and Payarvi. Save that line for a shorter slate. Shabbat for 6K. Not the greatest value. I do agree with Osmo there. He's got him as a D value, but still comes up as my second highest defenseman, right behind Brent. Not right behind, but behind Brent Burns. So there's a pretty big gap between Burns and Shabbat for DFS point projections, but I do really love Shabbat here for 6K. Block shots are going to be a thing. So if he's willing to take a couple blocks here, I think Dallas should crush them in possession at least. Yeah, Shabbat is one of the best floors of the night, I think. All right. What else here? What else? Gavin Bayreuther at 3,300. If he is on the top power play, and it looks like he is, then that's probably your best value of the entire night. Huge team total. Exposure to Dallas 1 on the power play. Not much else needs to be said. Esa Lindell up to 5,100. Makes it tough to play him here, but I think these prices aren't elevated enough on Dallas's side. So I'm going to have a ton of Dallas all over the place, defensemen. Some of these punk guys, I will have Roman Polak. He is an A value in Osmo's grades. I do agree with that. I've actually started using him a little bit more when he's priced under 3K. Floor play more than upside, but if he makes it work and he's your last guy in, then I'm with it for sure. Lindell's still cheap on FanDuel. Yeah, he probably won't. He's probably like, what, 3,600 on FanDuel? That seems to be how they operate. Anderson at 7K. I get it, goalie leverage or whatever, but he's not for me. Just no way. He's my lowest projected goalie of the main slate. It's not even close. 4,400? Okay. Still too cheap. Anyone's too cheap going up against Ottawa. They're incredibly bad. Khudobin at 8,100. Actually don't really like that much at all. I think I'd rather go with a guy like Domingue or even maybe pay up to Martin Jones, and I don't like Jones at all as a goalie. let's go to the last game of the night. Vancouver and San Jose. Anders Nielsen going up against, could be Jones, could be Aaron Dell. If it is Aaron Dell, he may be a couple $100 cheaper than Jones. Either way, I hope it is Aaron Dell. I always hope it's Aaron Dell because he's always cheaper than Jones and he's a better play than Jones. And Jones is always super expensive. So anyways, we've got the Canucks going up against San Jose. Just like I was talking about with Dallas against Ottawa, I'm hammering the Sharks here. That top line comes up as one of my best values of the night. Pavelski, Kane, Donskoy wrote them up earlier today. So you can see the numbers there. They're creating a ton of quality chances, ton of shot volume, all that good stuff. But let's not overlook the second line either. They're 18-8 to stack. It was really a decision of, do I write up the top line or the second line for the Sharks? Because there's no line I'm worried about on Vancouver. I want to target actively against that Horvat line, but San Jose doesn't hard match. So everyone's going to see a little bit of everyone. And that just means that the top two lines are firmly in play on San Jose's side. And then you know where you're going on defense. It's Brent Burns. It's Erik Karlsson. Take your pick at the various price points. Don't get bogged down in Burns being on power play 2. I wouldn't put too much stock in that. They're switching around. So maybe people see, oh, Karlsson, 1,000 cheaper. But okay, they're both going to play with very good players on the power play. So you can play either one with any of these top 6. Just have fun with it. I mean, San Jose should dominate here, or the Sharks' third line. Like, Joe Thornton ruins it for me. So that's my issue. I don't know. It's probably a bad bias to have. He's 3,500, but still is Joe Thornton. And then Sorensen doesn't get any power play time. And Furman reffing now, so don't look for him, Jake. Yeah, I did see that. The lineup builder? Yeah, this builder is included in the Awesemo.com premium membership. That is correct, poker guy. Furman reffing now. Yeah, he's in that Anaheim game. And I was all over the Ducks top line before that. And then Corsi messaged me and said that Furman was on the top line. Or, I'm sorry, that Furman was reffing the Edmonton-Anaheim game. And, yeah, I felt pretty validated in that. So, go Furman. How's our buddy Furman doing? Has he called like 6 or 7 penalties yet? Or has the NFL told him, or NFL, has the NHL told him to calm it down and swallow the whistle a little bit? But on the Vancouver side, if I'm going to a line, it's Goldobin, Pettersson, and Virtanen. It's the best line, best trio of players. Horvat would be the best part of the best trio, but Horvat and Pettersson, both centers. So it's a clear Pettersson, Goldobin, Virtanen night if you are going to Vancouver's side here. Hutton for 4,100 is at a nice price and playing on power play 1, so he does go well with Pettersson and Goldobin and Virtanen. And then Tanev, again, he's 2,900 and gonna play a bunch of minutes. So I will have some Chris Tanev, as fun as that sounds. But this one is mostly about the Sharks. I'm not getting cute with the slate. It's pretty straightforward. I do love all the chalky plays. I don't think we're going to see any bad chalk. So, should be quite a bit of fun. Let's go to Fantasy Cruncher. I'm going to just build some lineups here. I got my projections loaded in. We're on the 8-game slate. I think you guys can see all this on your screen. Yeah, it looks like you can. So what are we going to do here? Let's just do some standard stacking. Forwards. We'll include third lines for the sake of this. We'll make 100. This shouldn't take too long, I don't think. Do I have all the right goalies in? Dell is 8,100. Okay, well, we'll just X out all these guys until we hear that, you know, if Sparks gets the start or Kemper or whatever. You can always swap. You can always start with the more expensive goalie and then swap down. Favorite away teams play tonight? Nashville won. Yeah, really like Nashville won. All right, so let's get out of the... I think I have a rule to get a defenseman in here too from the same team. So that'll make it nice. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, the Duchesne line coming up a bit. Oh, Middlestat scored? He's from my high school. That's funny. Oh, Athanasiu, Eberle, Line and Middlestat. Okay, I don't know what that does as far as my winnings, but... Or losings. Who knows? Yeah, so, okay. So what I like to do when I'm running 3-3 is just let it go and see what comes up. See the Couturier line coming up quite a bit. Ooh. So this is going to be kind of thrown off because half the lineups have Sagan in there, and I'm not really getting a good spread. Like when you jam in a $22,000 line, it's going to be tough to get, you know, these guys. You know, it's going to be tough to get any McKinnon exposure. Pavelski line isn't super expensive, but you're going to get all these like Tierney, Duchesne, just lines that are somewhat cheap and have one or two good players that come up as solid values. Can you do Johansson with Sagan line? There's no way, right? Yeah. I really like the look of these Johansson lines. Oh, there's Nashville 3. Look at that. That's real nice. Middlestat is an overrated douche. Oh, I don't know him. He's quite a bit younger than me, but you know, you're entitled to your opinion. Do you think top guys on Pitt come in at under 5%? That's actually no, like Crosby and Malkin. It seems like they always get around 10, and I actually don't like Crosby as a one-off almost ever. Malkin I'm more okay with, but like especially when Hornquist is playing on Crosby's line, you just like if I'm playing a cash game, Hornquist is always the target. Somebody got clowned by Middlestat, maybe. Could be that. I don't even know. I lost my train of thought. But anyways. They were both at 5? Wow. So that was the 14 game. That was the 14 game slate though, right, Matt? Or maybe it was 15? So, yeah, okay, so it was 14 games. I mean, we got almost half of that right now. I'd say they come in around 10. Yeah, low owned for Pittsburgh. People love playing Pittsburgh. We've got two very obvious spots in the hammer games, the San Jose spot and the Dallas spot. And you can't, it's not like you can fit Pittsburgh 1 with Dallas 1. Or Pittsburgh 2 for that matter. I don't think you can even do that. So, you know, outside of Dallas 1 and maybe San Jose, but we got two lines there. There's really not much I'm worried about as far as ownership. I want to see who you can fit with Carolina 1. I think that would be super interesting. All right, we've got this. Are you in a dorm? That looks empty. Yeah, no, I'm not in the dorm. This is my house. This is my bedroom. I've got the master at this crib. So I live with 5 guys. Yo, Osmo, how are you in like a penthouse? Jake got that. Yeah. I do need to get a nicer backdrop, but I don't have vents on the wall just yet. Had to get new paint, all this stuff. So yeah, it's a work in progress, this room of mine. I think we have an NBA show after this. Kind of random, but we do have an NBA show after this. So if you guys are looking to play NBA, it's a pretty big slate. With Carolina 1, you can fit my team. Nashville 1, you can fit either San Jose line. You can fit Columbus 1. Wow. So for this, I'm probably not going to go 40% of one line if I have 100 lineups. I'd probably try to even this out and get the second line maybe at like 25 or 30% and try to get more Couture line, more Pavelski. Probably wouldn't have Bonino in my player pool. Probably wouldn't have Wenberg in there. Get a couple more Crosby lineups in there. And then for sure try to get in more. The point line didn't come up for me at all yet. So something might be broken there for me. But they will come up. I'll have to adjust them. I'm sure something just got mixed up in the algorithm. But once I update projections, you'll get more Braden Point, Kucherov, Johnson. If you do use mine, Horvat's going to get a bump down for sure. Just can't really justify playing him at 9% when he's got very poor line mates. The Pettersson line will get a boost. What else do we have here? Aho line is going to get a boost because of their even strength matchup. And Columbus 1 will actually probably get somewhat of a boost. This Tavares line always comes up for me. Always, always, always. No matter what. So many high danger chances between Tavares and Marner. Anybody got anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to get out so the NBA guys can take over. 10 game slate tonight for NBA? Something like that. But quite a few games. Maybe it's 8. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to check out the NBA content we have if you're interested in NBA or you play both. If you somehow do that, like Alex and Tom, by all means, feel free to check out a free show. Give this show a like if you did enjoy it. It really makes us feel good. Helps us do this for free as well. SJ over Tampa tonight. And there are so many good spots. I think I would side with San Jose, but I mean, it's so close. Once you get past Dallas 1, then it's everyone. There's like 5 or 6 lines. You know, Carolina 1, Columbus 1, both San Jose lines. I like the Nashville 1, as I've talked about a bunch. Tampa 2, or the Point Kucherov Johnson line would be right up there as well. So, yeah, thanks for joining, guys. I agree. 7 to 9 is a pretty sweet spot for any sport, right? NFL included, I think. I like 7 to 10, 6 to 10, something like that. I do better on the smaller NHL slates. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm a fish. I have no idea. But it seems like all my big wins this year and last year have come on like 5-6 game slates. Maybe people will just pay attention less. I don't know. But anyways, look for my projections. Going to have an update right after the show. And hit me up in chat. If you got any questions, hit me up on Twitter. Feel free. I'll respond to your questions on Twitter or DM me. If you don't want to tweet at me, that's fine. My DMs are open. Check out the Morning Skate article from Nolan Kelly, Power Play article, my Stacks article. That is also on Osmo.com. Should be right at the top of the NHL page. Promo code Hit the Ice, promo code Cyber Month, promo code Cyber Year. Definitely want to check those two out. The Cyber Month gets you half off your first month of Osmo All Access Premium, and then Cyber Year, the best deal on the site, you get 2 free months for the entire season when you get a Osmo.com All Access Premium Year. So you're saving $120 for the year. Get all of this great content for all sports with the All Access. So you don't just have to hear me blabber. You can watch the guys next, Laffy and Adam, who are awesome at NBA. And then you also have access to them in premium Slack. So come join or try out the free trial, promo code Hit the Ice, and then decide to come join. Thanks for watching, guys. I will be back most likely tomorrow. So come by if you want to talk a big Saturday slate. See you at the top.